Hi, I'm Steph G with Yoga with Lyme. Thank you for joining me for Yin Yoga before running with an affirmation. The focus today will be on the feet, the ankles, and the knees. Of course, as always, we will hit other areas. So you will need 2 blocks, a bolster, a pillow, a blanket, whatever that you have, and choose. I like to cover up with a blanket during Shavasana, and so I always recommend to have a blanket handy. I just have one of those little blankets from Dollar General, and I just love it and cover up with it, nothing fancy. And so press pause, go grab your props, and come and join me. Yoga is amazing and it's completely changed my life. It opened up a brand new world for me. I hope that by sharing what I know that it's going to also help you. Yin Yoga is sometimes called the yoga of the joints. It really is getting deep past your muscle, working on the joints, your fascia, the ligaments. And so those areas we don't always hit. So Yin Yoga is very passive, meaning we're not going to pull or strain our muscles. We're going to try to relax our muscles, allow gravity to pull us deep into the stretch. There are 3 main principles to Yin Yoga. The first is going to be to find your edge. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being your absolute not feeling anything, and 10 being, oh, there's a fly. 10 being that you are in extreme discomfort. You really would like to find your 5. So being very in tune with your body, listening to your body is going to be of the utmost importance as you do Yin Yoga. The second principle, I need to focus and find my words. My throat chakra must be a little blocked. So the second principle of Yin Yoga is to be still. Yin Yoga can be an emotional release, as it is known that we hold trauma in our joints and our tissues. So it can be emotional. It may not be, but whichever way, it is just fine. A lot of times holding a pose, you'll find yourself wanting to fidget for no reason. Just allow yourself to be still in that pose, hold that pose, focus on your breathing. The third thing is to actually hold the pose. Yin Yoga can go anywhere between 1 to 10 minutes in holding a pose. Most of the time, we do 3 to 5 minutes on average. And that's what most of us Yin Yoga instructors will do. However, doing yoga on my own, doing Yin Yoga on my own, sometimes I do hold the poses for up to 10 minutes. It's a benefit of just feeling that pose, feeling great, and allowing my body to decide. So, if you are ready to begin, please place one hand on your heart, your chest, one on your belly. And if you would like to lift yourself up a little bit and elevate your hips, you can place a block underneath and just sit at the edge. Placing that hand on your chest and one on your abdomen, begin to breathe and feel your breath. As you're breathing, focus on the breath and the diaphragm pulling, and as it pulls, it's going to contract the belly, and as you exhale, it's going to flatten. So we're going to inflate and deflate as we breathe, paying attention to your own breath. Feeling your rhythm, make a minor adjustment to fill the belly with air. As you inhale, the belly expands, the chest rises. On your exhale, the chest falls, the belly deflates. Notice if your inhale and exhale are the same length. One of the things you can do to try to make them even is to count your inhale and exhale. So maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you need to count to 3 or count to 5. Find your count. The affirmation today is, I breathe in strength, I breathe out weakness. I breathe in strength, I breathe out weakness. And relax your hands. If you're sitting on a prop, you can move the prop to the side. Coming onto your knees, curl your toes under on the mat. And I have to move my pinky toe out of the way. For some of us, this is as far as we can go, and this is quite the stretch and very intensive. And for others, not so much. So you may sit up onto your heels. There will be space between mine. My toes and feet are very tight with my excessive root chakra that I'm needing to balance out. So to make this a little bit easier or softer, of course, you would adjust on how much weight you're actually putting onto your toes. And so find that 4. Remember, we're not going for that 10. So find your 4. I'll choose a softer landing. So find your breath. That deep belly breath. Concentrate on that breath, visualizing your breath. Allowing your breath to go right into your toes and the arch of your foot. Relax your feet to the best that you can. Notice if you're holding any tension. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Very gently come, take the weight off of your toes. Allow your toes to lie onto the mat. Maybe wiggle or flex. Allow the blood to return back to those toes. Sitting down all the way onto your hips. Now we will do an ankle stretch. You'll want to, if you can, put your hands down behind you. You may always use blocks to come down behind you. And you're just going to raise your knees up, leaving your ankles on the floor. So however high you can go to feel that nice ankle stretch, but also trying to find that 4. So if you do not need the blocks, no need. Finding that 4. Maybe it's barely lifting. Maybe it's lifting quietly. I think I will use the blocks today. That felt very good. Sometimes this is a little bit painful across the bridge of the foot, and if that's the case, you can always pad with a blanket. And just to give some support. So find your 4. If you notice any pain in your knees or your ankles, then please back out of this pose. I'm leaning on my arms, I'm just resting. Find that 4. Breathe in all the way down to those ankles. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. begin to lower your knees to the ground very softly. Coming up, let's twist our wrists back and forth the other way. Placing our props to the side. Make your way onto your belly. Your elbows should be underneath your armpits, basically your shoulders. And press yourself up into Sphinx pose. Being very careful to not jam your cervical spine up. So our head is not cranked back. It's in a neutral. Our heart is what's lifting, drawing our shoulder blades down. Finding our breath, noticing if we need to push more into it or come out of it. Notice your body. Are you clenching? How are your shoulders? Work on softening, allowing them to become relaxed as you can while holding the pose. Fingers are spread wide. Make any last minute adjustments and then settle into the pose. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Begin to slowly lower yourself down onto the floor, releasing the tension in your shoulders. Allow your left knee to bend. Take your left hand and grab a hold of your ankle or your foot, whatever is the most comfortable. Notice if you're pulling it to the left, and we want to remain neutral. And just hold here, giving yourself a good quad stretch. The right arm can be extended out in front of you, or allowing your head to rest. Notice any tension in your back or your shoulders, and just relax. Breathe deep into your knee. If there is any pain at all, release. You could always do this with a strap. Focusing on your breath. Breathing into your belly. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Softly let go the hold that you have on your foot and allow your left leg to extend down. We'll switch and do the other side. So right leg bends at the knee, right hand can come back, grabbing at the ankle or on the foot, wherever you find is the most comfortable, making sure not to splay out to the right. Find that 4. Some that are grabbing onto the ankle, if they're going to go even farther, may find lifting up the leg. You can also extend your left arm out in front or use it to support your head. Once you find your edge, get out any remaining wiggles. Be still, hold the pose. Really focus on your body, paying attention to the left and the right side, what you're feeling in the body. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Gently release the foot. Allow your leg to extend. Roll to your right side. stacking your hips one on top of the other. Bring your left hand down in front of your chest for support. Raising up onto your side. Now, if this is too much, try bending your knees. You can also place a block or pad underneath your forearm. Find that 4. Be soft with your cervical. Feel that side stretch. Always focusing on the breath. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Find that edge. Get those last minute adjustments. You should be still. Allowing your breath to fill your belly. One more good inhale and exhale. You may roll back over onto your belly. I will just be switching sides so that I can stay facing you. But you roll back onto your belly. Do the same thing. Roll on to your left side. Stack your hips the best of our ability. Bring your right arm underneath you, lifting up. Of course, you can always extend. Staying down on your forearm is always an option as well. We're looking for a 4. So sometimes you can go and find that 10 and just let it be juicy for a moment and then back out and find that 4. Being kind to yourself, kind to your body, listening to your body, noticing how your left side feels versus how the right side was feeling. Getting those last minute adjustments, holding still in the pose. Focusing on that breath. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Begin to bend your knees, coming all the way up onto your bottom. Extending your legs out in front of you for a straddle. Again, not looking for a 10, so once you find that, you may need to walk your legs back in together. So in this straddle, you are just going to fold forward. Blocks are a great help to have. So you can find where a 1 would be, and then start working down to find a 4. Placing your hands in front of you, of course to the sides of your blocks. If you don't have blocks and you're just dangling down, that's perfectly fine. It would be something like this. Have your palms face up so you resist the notion to pull. Get those last minute wiggles out. Notice your breathing and your breath. If you are unable to fill your belly with air, you have gone too far. Notice any tension in your knees, your glutes, or your feet. Melt into the ground. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Notice your body, what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Is there anywhere that you can relax begin to walk your hands, lifting yourself oh so carefully all the way up. So you may choose to keep this block for a moment as we come into our next pose. Keep your block out in front of you if you have it. Coming up, we want to take our toes and turn them out. Your feet are going to be hip width apart. They could be a little bit further. Turning your toes out, allowing yourself to come into a yogi squat. Now, with your block, if you're not all the way able to, you can sit on the block. And that helps to come into this. You can also pat the block, whatever that you're needing. Any little adjustments that you're needing to make. I am going to come off of mine. Find that breath. Fill that belly with air. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Go ahead and lower. Excuse me as I rise up and telling you to lower, but lower your hands. Come up. We will make our way back onto the floor. Extend your legs out in front of you. Maybe wiggle your feet just a bit. As you're in a sit position, if it is more comfortable, you can always place something underneath your hips to elevate your hips just a little higher. It helps me with my pelvis is. Legs together. Begin to fold forward. If you would like, you can take blocks. I'm always saying this. And rest. Remember to find your edge. This definitely works my ego. And I just have to remember to breathe. Allow yourself to sink and gravity to pull you in. You're not forcing, tugging, or pulling. Notice if you're holding any tension anywhere in your legs. Breathe into that tension and release it. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Begin to lift yourself up slowly, slowly, ever so slowly. You can place the blocks to the side. Bring your right knee, we're going to bend both knees actually. And so you want your left one to be parallel to your hip socket, and we want to turn our bodies. And if you can, and it's not too uncomfortable, your right leg can be at a 90-degree from your body. If this hurts in any way, try bringing your knee in. The same thing with the back. If you want it to be at a 90 and you can do that, I just noticed mine wasn't, then please, by all means, take that and make that a 90. However, if you're noticing additional pressure on any of your knee joints, then bring that in just a bit and see if it will release some of that tension. Again, you could use your blocks underneath your hands if you would like. Turning your body towards the right. Same, matching those hips. Thinking of where your headlights are facing. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a block here on the lowest level. For a little bit extra to go deeper, you can always lean. I wouldn't say lean, like we don't want to lean all the way to the left, but find that neutral. Notice if you are leaning more to the right or to the left. I had to come off of the blanket that I was on. If you notice that your knee is rising up too high off the floor, you can always place a block underneath that. Once you find your adjustments and you've made your adjustments, be still. Try breathing all along where you're feeling this. Notice where you're feeling it. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Really listening to your body. Finding that deep breath. Focus on your breath. Awareness is on your body. allowing any tension that you're holding to release and melt into your mat. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Very gently, begin to turn towards your left, bringing both knees up. Just move them side to side. And we will begin to do our left. So taking the left, placing it on the ground. The right is going to be in the same direction. Make those adjustments as you need. I'm taking a while, aren't I? Again, paying attention to how where your hips are facing, and you'll want to turn the same way that your hips are, your upward body. For a definitely advanced version of this, you could always lower yourself down. I shouldn't say very. It really just depends on where you're at. So find your edge. Breathing into your pose. Really feeling your legs, knowing where you're feeling the stretch the most. Be in tune with your body. Notice how your left feels compared to your right. See if you can relax just a little further. I breathe in strength. I breathe out weakness. Begin to turn your body towards the right. Carefully bring your legs out of this position. Again, take them side to side. Coming to your mat, maybe grabbing your blanket, covering yourself if you get cold. I do. Lying down onto your back, allowing your feet to fall to the side, either way that they feel, or maybe your feet stick straight up comfortably. Mine go to the sides. If you would like, you can take a pillow and place it underneath your head. And I do that sometimes. Maybe bring your arms up over and to your head, lifting your head up by your, like placing your hands by your ears. And maybe just lift your head and try to sink the weight into your hands. Your hands can turn your neck left and right, and then find a comfy place to position your head in alignment with your body. I like to give it a little tug. I always did that for my students in the classroom. Now take your hands and drop them down to your side, palms up. You may close your eyes if you would like. Scanning your body, checking for any tension. Inhaling and exhaling, focusing on your breath. Bring your awareness to your feet. Without moving your feet, notice how you feel. See if you can relax your feet just a little more. Bring your awareness to your legs. Your awareness is in your left leg and your right leg. Really feeling all the parts of your leg. Notice how your legs are feeling. Can you release your legs just a little more? Bring your awareness to your hips and your lower back. Can you relax this area just a little more? Notice your upper back, your chest, your shoulders. Notice how this area feels. See if you can relax it just a degree or two more. Feel your arms and your hands. Notice any tension and then release it. Notice your neck and your head. Release any tension you have. Do a body scan, noticing any areas that you're feeling. With your eyes still closed, begin to roll to your side. You can bend your forearm and place it underneath you or straighten it. Give your head some support. Bring your knees to about a 90 or 45 degree angle. Releasing that tension. And softly fluttering your eyes open. Feeling your body, bringing your awareness to your body. If you feel inclined, You may begin to sit up, or if you would like to stay and allow your body to rest more, that's perfectly fine as well. Making our way up into sitting position. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you loved this session. If you did, please like and subscribe to my page. Leave me a comment and allow me to know what I'm doing that you enjoy the most. I look forward to hearing from you. May you be steady in difficult times, and may you always find happiness.